What's going on, guys? Welcome to Tango Down Liberty. What we're going to cover today is how you can prepare for an assault weapons ban. Alright, guys, I think now's a perfect time to discuss this topic due to recent events and the upcoming election. Um, if we look at pretty recent history, there was an assault weapons ban in 1994, and I think it was done in 2004. And it was done by Bill Clinton, which is the husband of the Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton, and she's actually been pretty vocal about the fact that she wants to reinstate that. So if she does get elected, it's definitely something that's a possibility. I guess it could be a possibility with Trump. He hasn't mentioned it yet, but a lot of people say they don't know exactly what he's going to do. But we just wanted to cover ways that you can prepare for that. You don't want to get caught off guard. If you don't have an assault weapon, whatever they want to say that means, a semi-automatic rifle, and you think you may want one in the future, now's probably the time to get one.
Yeah, during the last assault weapons ban, which was from 1994 to 2004, that one only lasted 10 years, and at the end of that assault weapons ban, they got rid of it because they found that it didn't help or only marginally helped with violent crimes. But if they do another one, who knows? Maybe they'll do it for longer, or it might be permanent, like some of the other weapons bans in other countries like Australia and the UK. So just because we're talking about an assault weapons ban doesn't necessarily mean it's a temporary ban like what we saw last time. This one might be permanent. So like Victor was saying, if you're looking to buy a semi-automatic rifle like this AR-15 here, or you might want one in the future, you might want to start preparing right now, because if they do ban them, then if the ban is like what we saw last time, you're not going to be able to buy one, and if you are able to buy one, it's going to be super expensive. I mean, we've seen prices go up 3, 4, 5 times what they were before a ban, during the ban. And so the two components that they usually ban are magazines, right? Because these are 30-round magazines. A lot of people think they're evil magazines because they can hold a lot of rounds. For us as gun owners, we know this is not a high capacity magazine. It's a standard capacity magazine. It's a standard capacity 30-round magazine, even though the media pitches it as a high capacity magazine. So these are likely to be banned. They were banned last time, and they're banned also at a state level. So in Connecticut, the state that I'm from, they passed a law after Sandy Hook restricting the amount of rounds that you can have in a magazine to 10. So anyone that had a 30-round magazine like this one had to register their magazines. And you can no longer get a 30-round magazine in the state of Connecticut. So if you think that there's going to be a assault weapons ban coming up, or a magazine ban, usually magazine bans go along with those assault weapons bans, you might want to stock up on these 30-round magazines. Victor and I actually were looking to purchase these magazines before the recent shooting in Orlando, and they were $6.99 on one website that we went to, and then after the shooting we looked and they were completely sold out, and the cheapest ones we can find were over $9. So these are now $9, and they're rising in price. So again, if you're looking to buy a magazine, now is the right time, because during an assault weapons ban, if they do ban magazines, these things are going to be selling for $60, $70, $80, even if you can even find them. So it's a good idea to stock up on magazines ahead of time.
And it's important to note that state laws, there's a lot of different states that have a lot of different assault weapon type of laws, so we can't really speculate as to what they're going to do. As far as, like, I know the New York State SAFE Act, because I'm from New York, it's really, really restrictive. Like, you can't even have the pistol grip. They've changed it to there's certain features they ban to determine if it's an assault weapon, and in New York they actually, if it has one feature, it's an assault weapon. Obviously it's got to be semi-automatic first, but have any one feature, whether that's a pistol grip, a threaded muzzle, any type of assault weapon feature.
Bayonet lug, grenade launcher.
Yeah, as if you can get grenades anyway, or you're gonna strap on a bayonet and go stab people. But so we can't really speculate how it will be. What we base this on is what they've already done. They did from 94 to 04. They had the federal ban, and we're basing it on the parameters of that ban. And as far as magazines go, during the last ban, as long as you had these magazines before the ban, you could transfer them. So if they had a ban tomorrow and we just bought 1,000 magazines today, and that magazine that we bought is now illegal, we could transfer those to somebody else. We could sell them, on a website or whatever, or just, to somebody. We could transfer those magazines. I don't think you can do that in New York. There's certain states where they'll outlaw the transfer, and the last ban's federal one, you didn't have to register them. So I mean, you could imagine, basic economics will tell you if the supply is fixed, the price is going to go up. Who knows how much? But I can't. I mean, even after Sandy Hook, the prices went up with the 30-round magazines, and there wasn't even an assault ban. Even when they talk about bans, prices rise. So definitely a good idea to get some 30-round magazines. Another thing it's kind of funny because, this right here is a stripped lower AR-15 lower receiver. Now, this has a serial number on it. This is a gun. This is considered a gun. When you buy one of these, you have to go through the background check and everything, the whole 9 yards. And like I said, you can just build an AR-15 from this. So a cheaper way to prepare for a ban, whether you want to do it to make some money in the end, or if you just you already have an AR-15, you think you may want more or whatever, you can build one from this. So you don't have to go out and spend $500, $600, $700, $800, whatever. If you want a nice one, $1,700, $1,800. You don't have to do that to prepare for a ban. You could buy a strip lower AR-15 lower receiver and build it from there. And what was this? This was $59. This is an Anderson Manufacturing lower, and this is basically the bottom of the barrel. It'll work fine. It's forged aluminum. I think it's 775 aluminum. You can get them for like $60. But in a ban, if they become banned, this is legal. So you could build from this and have a weapon after the ban. You could probably sell. I'm speculating, but you could probably sell this for definitely over $100, maybe $200-$300. I don't know.
Yeah, so this is the part that actually gets banned during an assault weapons ban is the lower, because this is the serialized part of the gun. All the other stuff, at least if the assault weapons ban is the same as it was last time, all the other parts are going to be legal and still being manufactured. So the buttstock, the upper receiver, the barrel, the pistol grip, the grip, the forward grip, all the other components, the charging handle, the bolt carrier group, all the other components are going to be legal to buy and manufacture. So you'll still have people manufacturing all these different components, but this is the only component that will no longer be manufactured because it'll be banned. So you might as well pick up a couple of these if you think there's going to be a ban in the future, because then you can buy all the other stuff usually aftermarket.
They probably will still manufacture these because you can build. Like in New York, for instance, we've all seen the pictures if you've done a search of the New York legal AR-15. I mean, it looks pretty weird, but manufacturers are going to find ways to make the gun legal. And they're probably going to use the same lower receiver because you could build anything you want from this, if you're a manufacturer and you're innovative, just like they've done in New York. But the thing is, those serial numbers are going to be different. They're going to be post-ban serial numbers. If you have one of these, it's bought before the ban. So instead of getting the goofy-looking New York legal AR-15 still shoots the same round. It's still just as lethal, but I mean, let's face it. I don't want to walk around with, the pistol grip cut off. Or there's no threaded barrel. It's just not what you want. I mean, it's ridiculous. So if you have the option, wouldn't you rather just build a good old classic, pre-ban AR-15? And you can do that if you buy these before the ban.
Yeah, I think it all depends how draconian they're going to be during the next assault weapons ban. They might say, all right, let's do exactly the same thing we did in 1994. Or they might say, 1994 didn't work, let's be even more draconian and outlaw even more stuff. So it really depends how they ratchet the assault weapons ban as to what's going to be banned. But I think a good bet is to stock up on lower receivers, stock up on magazines, and then the third component that we recommend is stocking up on ammunition. Because as we've seen in Connecticut, after this last law was passed in Connecticut, you now need a permit to buy ammunition in Connecticut, which is just crazy in my opinion, but it is what it is. And if they do that on a national level, where they either completely outlaw ammunition, you can't buy it anymore, or you need some kind of special permit, or you can't buy it online, you have to go to a gun dealer or whatever, anything they do is going to drive up the price of ammunition, which is already high as it is right now. But if you have a way to incrementally increase the amount of ammunition that you store, and I know it's kind of a gray area because some people say, well, they're going to say you're stockpiling ammunition or whatever, but if you're a shooter, you have a lot of ammunition anyways, right? You're not driving to the store every time you go to the range. You buy a bunch of ammunition in bulk because it's cheaper to buy in bulk, and then you store it until you go to the range. And it's not uncommon to blow through 400, 500 rounds of ammunition at one trip to the range. And if you go every weekend or twice a week, you go through 1,000 rounds pretty quickly. So if you already have that amount of ammunition stored for shooting, for practice, all that kind of stuff, for training, you might as well build up your reserves a little bit more during this time.
Yeah, I mean, like you just said, like I'm going to the range tomorrow, I'm probably going to shoot 400 or 500 rounds. And if I go every weekend, that's 2,000 a month. So you're not going to sit there and go to the store and buy 500 rounds every time you go. First of all, it's going to be more expensive. And if you order online, you're going to save a lot of money on shipping by a bigger order. So you're not stockpiling for the apocalypse, which is not a bad idea anyway, but it's not, it's nothing weird about it. If you're a shooter that's actively going out every weekend or every month or whatever on a consistent basis, you're going to want ammunition anyway. You might as well buy it while the prices are still somewhat lower. In a ban, or I think the prices are probably going to be going up soon anyway, but people are buying them now. So buy it when you can still get it for a decent price is the main point. Or before you need an ID to buy it or something like that, or you can't buy it online. I know in New York, I'm not sure if it's still instated, but back when I was there, a year or 2 years ago, you couldn't buy online. You couldn't buy ammunition online, so that raises the prices of ammunition.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily need to brag to anyone how much ammunition you need, how much ammunition you have, or how much ammunition you think is appropriate. No one needs to really know about that. So don't go bragging to your friends, hey, I got 20,000 rounds of 9mm or whatever, because then the word spreads and the word gets out there that you have all this ammunition. That's when people start asking questions. Why do you need that much ammunition? Especially people that aren't gun people are going to start asking those questions. This guy's stockpiling ammunition because he's going to do something bad with it or something like that, right? So you want to keep those people off your case. And if you're a shooter, you're going to have a lot of ammunition anyways, just for target practice. So you want to keep a low profile. You don't need to tell anyone how much ammunition you necessarily have.
All right, thanks for joining us, guys. Remember, if you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, tell your friends, give us feedback too. We want to hear what you have to say. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Tell us what we can do better. We have to stick together. Pretty rough times now for the Second Amendment. So until next time, this is Eastern Bloc. I'm Victor. Thanks a lot.